back to another week of Let's Talk About This Way. We're here back in the studio. We're not doing virtual, and we're not at the XYZ studio, but we are in my lovely home studio here, and I'm super excited to be back at it here. Quick shout out to the band Hannah. Those guys from Simi Valley, California, who always does the intro and outro music. Go ahead, give them a listen, guys. I always put their details at the end of the episode, so be on the lookout for that. And this week, as you can see, I am wearing the good old Michigan colors, because by the time this episode releases, we'll already be in week 1 of college football, baby. We're back. We're excited. It's going to be great. So go blue to start it off. But aside from that, I do have a great friend of mine here, Mr. Kyle Lewis, to be on the podcast. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Howdy, howdy. Great to be here, man. And the studio looks great. I love the way you moved around stuff and have everything set up here, man. It looks beautiful. It's awesome to be here.
Thanks, dude. I mean, I put some work into it. There's still some things to get done here, like maybe soundproofing it one day, because right now I've got to put all my dogs into the bedroom so it doesn't pick up on that sound. But for the lighting, it's gotten a lot better since day one, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. I got those comments when people were like, I can't see anything, you know, and we had Herbie on the podcast, so that was funny. No, but anyways, I want to start it off just kind of going into really quick what you were asking me prior to shooting the episode. And it'll be good for them to hear a little bit about this too. But so I shot this episode with Herbie, Greg, and then my buddy Austin. I don't think you've gotten to meet yet.
I've met Austin.
You have?
Yeah. Kind
of longish hair?
Yep.
Where?
I want to say I met him up at NAU. Like he came up and saw you guys for a week.
Okay, no, I think it's a different Austin. This is a different Austin. My bad. I was like maybe
because I'm thinking NAU Austin. So
no, 100%. So no, my buddy Austin Keel came on, and so. For many people who out there know, we've been sponsored. The show's been sponsored by Openers, which is awesome. That's headed by one of my best friends, Herbie Dua. And so we had another sponsored episode, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And we really got to show off his digital card game he created. So there's a bunch of us guys, really loose, just chatting it up. And it was a lot of fun. So
nice. Be
on the lookout, guys. That segment is going to be called Detour with Friends. So that'll be a lot of fun. But we'll get you on one of those. Cool. It's a lot of fun. Cool. But anyways, we're going into college football week. It's going to be exciting. I got to ask you, Kyle, I forget. What? Oh, I take that back. I do know. The Washington Huskies, right? If there's any college football team for you?
Either that or... that's more like my dad's side of the family. So they grew up in Washington State. So they're all Huskies for the most part. They do like, the Cougars a little bit, but they're mostly Huskies. But going to ASU or going to NAU and then going to ASU, I think I'll always be diehard ASU and NAU. So
yeah. I think ASU is the route for sure for you to go for more of the major sports, if anything, because NAU is the black sheep of the family of college sports, man.
I mean, yeah, it's the Neutral Arizona University, right? So,
you're right.
That's how it goes. So.
That's good. I haven't heard that before. NAU, Neutral Arizona University. I love that. I think the most exciting thing that happened at NAU was we went to, was it the CIT? It's like not the March Madness. It's not the big tournament March Madness. It's like
it's for like the lower divisions, right?
Yeah. Or like the ones who didn't make it in, which we got to experience that, myself and your brother, which was awesome. That was like the biggest thing we ever did. Mm-hmm. I think we got close to qualifying for March Madness a couple years ago, but we lost in the championship in the Big Sky.
Yeah.
But I mean, so be it. We have our other schools like ASU.
Exactly.
And then I married into the whole Michigan family, so I get to have some fun during football season and basketball season.
Hey, that's what it is, man. I mean, when you're looking at the season, like Big Ten is where it's at. So, I mean, you look at like Big 12 and ASU, and I think that they're a little overhyped right now. I love Sam Levitt. Don't get me wrong.
I like Sam Levitt.
I think he'd be spectacular, and he could really. But I think the whole season kind of relies on him. And I think when you do that with a player, they don't always, succeed in that stance.
It's funny now we're talking about ASU football here real quick, because I totally forgot. I told your brother about this. I may have told your dad, but they just picked up from the transfer portal some guy from the Army, Kanye Udo.
Okay.
Heads up, I'm telling you right now, for any of those college football heads out there, watch out for Udo. And I hope I'm pronouncing it right, or I'm making myself a clown here. But Udo came from the Army. That guy is a dog. That guy can run the ball, dude. Yeah. So, like, if you're looking for someone who... You're not going to have another...
There's only one... All right.
You're not going to have another Scataboo.
That's what I hate. People, like, they like to compare everybody when it comes to college or NFL. I feel like everybody's their own player. They have little traits of everything, right?
True. But people are going to be like, the running game, who's going to step up? Udo.
True.
I'm telling you, Udo's a dog. I'm excited to see how that goes. But let's get back to it here. I just had to do a little, I just had to, we'll go off and in whatever, who cares? It's a casual convo.
Exactly.
Kyle, obviously you and I have been friends for years. Got to meet you through your brother, knowing your family. Your family's like my family. I love them a ton. But I want you to go ahead and just give a little background of who you are to these people who might not know you so well.
Yeah, so my name is Kyle Lewis. Pretty much born and raised in kind of North Phoenix area. I went to NAU, and that's where I got to meet a bunch of you guys and the whole group for the most part at NAU. After 2 years at NAU, I transferred to ASU because I really found out what I wanted to do with my life, and it was more of the media production side of things and understanding, how devices work and to understand the code that goes behind it. Because there was one time when I went to NAU, I was in like some math class, and it was just online, and pretty much I pulled up like some HTML code for it. I started reading it, and I started understanding what the HTML was for the page, and I could read the HTML enough where it could give you like a couple symbols.
Yeah.
And you could plug those into the answer. You could refresh the page, and it would give you the answer kind of thing. So learning that was like kind of instrumental in my life a little bit, understanding how important technology can be, and understanding like the background of how it works is really important.
So that's kind of what started that for you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so now currently I run my own company, my own LLC called Howdy Y'all Productions.
Okay.
Where I do multiple things. So I do graphic design for a couple companies. I do video production for a couple companies, videography, photography, pretty much anything that involves media, design, arts in that aspect right now.
Got you. So if I were to go back to, let's just look at young Kyle in high school. Were you thinking already this? You said, and it happened more in college. You're looking at HTML, right, on like a page where kind of get it all started. So when you were in high school, knowing that you were going to go to college, I'll even reverse that a little more. Did you know you were going to go to college right after high school? Was that always the plan?
No, I was actually very into like baseball out of high school, right? And so I really wanted to play on. And then pretty much I had a medical condition called psoriasis kind of pop up in my life, and kind of made me rethink like, hey, maybe baseball is not for me right now. So my parents were nice enough, and they sent me to NAU that year. And so that's how I got sent up to NAU that year. But overall, I did not think I would be into the arts that much.
Right.
But I learned to love color and understand what color is to us. So
which is great, and obviously led you to what you're doing now. But when you're thinking about baseball, okay, because I feel as a kid, right, like there's a difference between myself in high school and getting myself amped up, being like, oh, how cool would it be to do something professional outside of it, and then being real with myself and being like, okay, back then I'm 5'8", I'm a little bowling ball, 200 pounds, like I'm not an actual official lineman size for any school. Maybe if I went crazy, D3 or anything, but like the idea of me actually doing professional sports was never like something that I could, the reality of it, right? Give myself the reality could do. Now you're a pretty tall guy, and baseball favorite
6'1.5". I call myself model height.
I would say that's solid height, dude. And look, listen, for any of the fellas out there, if you're 6 feet, regardless, okay, as long as you're 6 feet, you're a tall guy, tall king. Go for it. Enjoy it. It's beautiful. I'm a short guy, but typically taller kids have a better chance at excelling at a sport because height does bring a lot to the table. So for you, did you feel you were pretty solid at baseball, like that could be a possibility if you really didn't have maybe the psoriasis pop up?
For sure.
Yeah.
I was always growing up, I always thought baseball was one of my first loves. My parents say I was watching the Diamondbacks when I was 2 years old, just sitting there watching them play baseball and learning the game that way. And then when I grew up, my parents or my dad could never really coach me. He could like, cause I was always like going against him, and so I would always have other people coach me. But by the time I got older, he would be able to coach me and everything. But what I should say is when I got to like the high school level and everything, I was always playing with older kids when I was young.
Okay.
Right? So I was always like above what my grade level kind of was. And so I got to the point where like I really wanted to play on, whether that be like JUCO, D3, D2. It doesn't really matter. Like I knew I might not have been like D1, and I totally understand like the whole like everything out there, right?
Right.
Like I heard there was an interview with like the 2 starting pitchers of the All-Star game this year that they're like they got one offer. One of them got one offer. The other one got 2 at a high school. It's like,
yeah,
you never really understand, and especially in the game of baseball, when you're going to develop and become the best player you're going to be.
Okay.
And like right now I do coach, and so that's what I kind of preach to my kids. Because we don't have a program that has 40, 50 kids. We have 20, 25 kids, and we have to work what we got. So I tell the kids all that. I'm like, everything that we're doing here is to develop you as a person. Understand what your capabilities are as a person, understand like how much drive you have as a person. And so that's what I'm really trying to implement in like my baseball team and everything. And other than that, that's kind of how I still love baseball and I'm still around baseball as I coach. So
got you. So for you, which I love what you're doing right now with these kids, and we'll dive into that a little bit, but for you as a kid in that level of high school, you already had the experience of playing maybe a year, a couple of years above. So the skill is there. It's raw, but it probably could have been crafted to even be more fine-tuned to get to the next level.
For sure.
But the reality was, because of psoriasis kind of bugging you, it kind of changed plans. And so do you remember being in high school thinking, oh man, like when that popped up, what was kind of the next move for you when you were going to go to college, like what you were going to study? Or was it more so, my parents, very thankful for them to send me off to college and a wonderful university. Love NAU. Some of the best years of our lives up at NAU, which is awesome. Sure. A beautiful place up there. But did you go up to NAU knowing already what you were going to study at that point because you had a switch? Or did you just say, well, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to figure it out once I get up there to see what I want to study? Yeah,
it was kind of more so what I was doing. I did a very broad major, just business management.
Yeah.
Kind of like, all right, let's get into business. Like I knew I wanted to get into business. I was with my dad for the longest time, watching him build his business with blinds and everything. So that always interested me a little bit, being an entrepreneur and running my own company. And so that's what I went there first, because I knew they had a pretty solid business program that could, jump from there to other places as well.
Sure.
And so, but I wanted a change too. I needed a change right out of high school. I needed to say bye to kind of that whole baseball kind of life and figure out myself and who I was again.
Yeah.
And I'll always say like your first 2 years out of high school is probably like some of the most important years in an adult's life or a person's life, because you really figure out what you're independent for and what you really want in this life, right? Those couple of years, just like, because you have all the independence in the world.
Yeah, I agree to that. I agree that it is very pivotal once you live by yourself, which is kind of the college thing that happens. I'm not saying that this can't happen right out of high school. If you, whatever route you take and you're living by yourself, that still happens. But college is typically kind of the first stepping stone to living by yourself, or quote unquote by yourself. You have a roommate typically, but I think it's huge. I remember my first year coming out of college or coming out of high school, and I vividly remember the first day. My parents dropped me off. I'm an emotional person, so I'm crying, hugging my parents and whatnot. And I'm like, damn, like this is crazy. Like I'm not gonna see them every day anymore. You know what I mean? Exactly. So what? 17, 18 years of doing that, you're not gonna do that anymore. So that's huge.
It's huge.
And then it's this like, oh my God. I'm alone.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Exactly.
I have freedom. Not saying that I didn't have freedom with my parents, but I mean, like, I was always, when you live with your parents, it's always you respect the house rules, right? Like, it just becomes more of a form of respect as you get older, compared to like, I'm going to do what I want, I don't care, you know, kind of deal. Like, it's just, so you're used to certain curfews, or like, hey, if you come home late, like make sure you're like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But in college, once, you know, you're kind of like, what do I do? Like, some people go really crazy because it's their first sense of freedom, and some parents are very strict. So that ends up they're just going wild and out. And then for other kids, it's just like me. I wasn't necessarily restricted, but I also was just like, this is my first sense of freedom by myself. And so you explore a lot of things, and then you also meet a lot of new people. It's almost like this overload of like feelings, emotions, and just like what your brain can process, that you're right. Like you start kind of just having to figure out how to process certain things, how to minimize other things, what's important to you, and who you are as an individual, which can be kind of funny and fun too. I went through phases up in college.
Yeah, we all do, right?
Yeah, I went through, I don't know if you got to see it, but for all the NAU homies who saw me out there and saw me through the phases, I went through a phase. I told Kelly, it was like a legit cowboy phase. All I was listening to at one point was just country music. I had my boots, my jeans.
Flagstaff, man.
No, well, I always say Flagstaff is like, you're either a hippie or a cowboy.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you can be what you want, but like you just see a lot of them. So it's like, are you more free spirited, or are you more like, catch me at dimes on Wednesdays and I got my boots on and I'm starting to dip a little bit?
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy. But you know, we go through these phases, and ultimately we try to find ourselves. You know, we start understanding a little bit about ourselves, and it doesn't stop in college. Like we continue in life, but it's probably like the biggest building stone or first step towards that.
Yeah.
So like, I totally hear you on that. So you're in college, you're doing business, and you're kind of figuring yourself out. What is something else that just briefly you can remember, like the first 2 years for you, that let's say maybe isn't talked about much?
So one thing I tell like all my cousins going to college.
Yeah.
One of the first things I did, and I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for my roommate Isar at the time. But what we did is we went around our whole dorm.
Yeah.
Knocked on everybody's door and just introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
He had a notebook. He wrote down everybody's name. He was very like, I don't know.
He's got a different kind of mindset. Huh?
Yeah, he was like, all right, I got to learn everybody's name.
Like, you can't remember top head or try that?
Yeah, he was like a class president at his old high school. So he was just like, he just had to know everybody. And so I was like, all right, cool. So I went along with him and just knocked on everybody's door in my dorm. And you really figure out who you want to be around with when you do that. And I thought that was like one of the best things. I didn't really have anybody that went with me to NAU.
Yeah.
And I was like, besides, I mean, I had you guys there.
Right.
But
I get what you're saying.
As a freshman, I was all by myself. I was in my own dorm room doing my own thing. And so I met countless friends. And like when one group is busy, you go hang out with another group.
100%.
And it was just like, that was like one of the best things about college, I thought. And so I tell my younger cousins, I'm like, if you live in the dorms, it's the first thing you should do on the first couple of days. Everyone's in the same boat. Nobody knows nobody for the most part. So go introduce yourselves. Go figure out who you want to be around.
1,000%. And even let's say you came up with friends, you still meet so many new people that you kind of drift off in different groups. And that's okay. That's a beautiful thing about college. You know, I'll give you an example. You came up to college, right? You knew us, but you're a freshman. So in your own level of things, your world of things, you're meeting new people, you know, understanding different people's perspectives and how they get talked to and whatnot, right? Where if you look at me, I came into college with a couple of my buddies from high school, right? My buddy Sean, Nick, Justin, Nathan. I mean, there were a couple of people that when we first came up, we all stuck together for a little bit, right? Because it's easier to kind of start it off with people. But
it is.
As time goes by, right? Like my buddy Sean and Nick would go off in their own baseball group, which is cool. I got to meet those guys, but then I met a couple of my buddies. We got to meet Chad, right? And then, you know, over time, you get to bring the groups together at times, which was cool, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I still went to go meet a lot of people, new people in my life. One, Herbie, who I met in college, who ended up being one of my best men at my wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, like, regardless if you go up there by yourself or you're with friends, like, you are bound to meet new people new ventures, new groups, right? I think that's what's a very beautiful thing of college. That's great. I'm glad you brought that up because I think people need to hear that too.
Yeah, it doesn't happen enough. Like everybody's on like social media, right, and looking at things to do like when they get to campus. And when you should really just figure out who your community is, and that's how you grow as a person, is like working with your community and growing with your community. So I think that's a big thing too. Is like no matter what you do in this world, make sure you're giving it back to your community. Like
sure,
I think that's like something I kind of live by a little bit.
But,
that is definitely
that's great, brother. Quote. I like that. Let me ask you this, because we're here on the college track right now. I just did this episode with my friend Jessie. Shout out to Jessie. Excited for our episode to come out. But I was on her podcast, and one question she asked me, and I want to ask you here, is talking about social media. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that you were the type to go knock on people's doors, say what's up, because that's how we were too. Like we had social media, but it's not as advanced as it is today. That's for sure. Exactly. But back then we still had it, but we still went around open doors in the dorms. Hey, what's up? I'm this person, blah, blah. For you though, having social media up there, to whatever extent you had it, mm-hmm. do you feel it played more of a positive or negative impact for you in college?
It had its up and downs. Mm-hmm. So I learned like with my major when I went to ASU how much media can mess with our minds a little bit.
1,000%, yeah.
And so that really changed my whole little thinking on media. I love to do media, and I still love media for what it is. But to do it for myself is another thing too. So like on my social media, you're not going to see me posting about my wife or like really much. I don't really post much.
You keep more private.
Exactly.
Okay.
When I am posting, it's for like, for businesses or baseball or something else. I don't necessarily do that for myself.
You really don't. Yeah. You're very minimal.
Which, I like that. I don't necessarily like to be the front man to a podcast in a sense, right?
Sure.
I like to be behind the scenes where everything is done and the creativity actually comes through. So, that's definitely where I kind of have been. And, sorry, going back to the question.
No, you're good. Keep doing your thing. We'll get back to it.
Remind me of the question again.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you know, brother, like anytime we start drifting off on something, like we'll always go back to it, because there's some good stuff that gets into that too. And if we drift off and you don't remember and I don't remember, that's on me. That's the host. But no, who gives a shit? No, so what I was asking was, I asked, what did you feel social media was for you like during college? And you said it had its up and downs.
Yeah.
Right. Which I agree with you too. How about we talk about the ups? What is maybe a positive thing you got with social media being up in college?
Just communication. You could reach out to anybody at any time. We don't do it enough, even with our cell phones now. We don't reach out enough, I think. And we don't, have this, one-on-ones or, hang out with our friends as much anymore. Yeah. But that is kind of like a thing that I love about it, is the communication part of it. The way that you can learn who people are pretty easily, just learning on their feed and stuff, and then kind of just how to communicate with them and how to get a hold of them if you need to.
Yeah.
Because there's always like for example, whenever somebody's like, "Oh, what are you gonna pay me through? Venmo, Zelle, Cash App?" There's so many of them, right? And you just have to be fluent with all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think that's kind of how I see media is like I have I have Facebook just to stay in touch with people. If somebody DMs me, that's why I have it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for posting.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook as much. That's what I have it too. It's more for messaging for like extended family or people I haven't talked in a while. Because there's people that still use it,
Exactly.
Okay, so positive, I think it's a good one, is communication. Absolutely. You kind of have all fronts of communication during college. You got Snapchat, Instagram, you name it. How about some negatives? What do you think is a negative from that for you?
There's always a status that people think that they want or they see on social media. Right?
Elaborate on that. What do you mean?
So I could bring in like my work history too a little bit with this. So like
sure.
People that are on TikTok or like TikTok famous have lots of followers on TikTok or TikTok famous. There is a certain status they kind of see themselves as. Like like, oh, I have all these people that follow me, which is great and all, like, but it's also like because of their like how they see life and how they work with life, for instance. And so it puts perspectives on people and like different perspectives on people, and it kind of like pushes perspective on people as well.
Okay, so when you're talking about perspectives and a social following, can you elaborate even more so on like, are you talking about individuals like in college that you got to meet, maybe out in the bars or like through friends that have already a pretty high social status where if we're on the same page here, and if not, correct me, okay? But when you're describing this, I'm thinking about people that maybe have like at that time 3,000, 4,000 followers. Like, whoa, like they're very popular in college. People know it, so it's like every chance they take has to be like selfie here, a photo here. People got to know where I'm at on that, and so maybe the perspective that's thrown at you if you're around them because maybe they're not paying too much attention to you or they're not like conversing as much. Maybe you're in a group setting or whatever. That you're like projecting onto me, or what I'm feeling is that you're better than me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like so, like what they do and what they like. For example, a lot of them market companies and businesses, right? Like some of them do it for the money, some of it do them for just promoting like a brand, like what they want, right? I knew a creator that he wanted to promote. What was it, like those like ice baths, kind of like an ice bath tub kind of thing.
Okay.
He wanted to promote it just to get one, like, right?
Are you talking about fuck, I'm forgetting it too. What is it? A cool dip? Not a cool dip.
It's like it's an ice bath, but it's like
I know, but what do they call it? They call it something. I know what you're talking about. It's like an ice bath. It's super freezing. Cold plunge.
Cold plunge.
There it is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, so he wanted free one of those. So he reached out. He's like, hey, can I do marketing for you to get a free one of these? And I'm like, okay, that's one thing to do, but why don't you just show like be interested in the actual product for what it's for?
Yeah.
Like why you're interested into it, right? Like be more. Don't just say, oh, I want it like I just want it. Say like why the reasons you want it, the health reasons, for instance.
Gotcha. So not more so on like, oh, this product looks cool and it's kind of hot in the market right now, because for a minute cold plunges were through the roof. Exactly. I mean, it's still popular, but I mean, like, you know what I'm talking about, that viral phase where everything was cold plunge. And so maybe the creator saw that and was like, this will boost my own stocks. Let me see if I can get some marketing involved in it because I'm associated with the cold plunge, rather than, oh, I'm a big into my fitness and I actually do cold plunges all the time, so this would be great to get in connection with this company.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you. Another question. Is that how it's done? I thought companies reached out to you to do that.
They can sometimes.
Okay.
It could go both ways.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You could, like, I've done it multiple times with my current company. I just write an email and send an email to like a like whatever. Go to their like web page, for instance. Right, figure out who their bot or who the CEO is. Send them an email. See if they need any marketing, any camera, videography, or anything. It always leads to something.
That's so crazy. If I would have known that was something you can do, I kid you not, I had no idea.
Dude, communication is everything.
Yeah, I would have reached out to Buc-ee's a while back. There was an episode at my Buc-ee's. I had Buc-ee's shirt joking around because I just recently discovered Buc-ee's, which I love. Have you ever been to Buc-ee's?
I haven't been to Texas.
Oh, okay. Well, if you talk to your brother, he knows.
I know, it's big. And it's
amazing.
There's one over in Tolleson that's being built eventually.
Yeah, but that probably won't be the same. Will I still go? Yes, I'll still go all the way from Queen Creek.
When we're going to California,
yeah. Yeah, there you go. I still might go just in general, but I mean, it's such a great place, and I don't think I've ever been so thrilled about such clean bathrooms at Buc-ee's. But anyways, that's good now. I just never knew that. And okay. So talking about some digital creators you work with, I think is a great segment into kind of how you got involved with starting your own company, doing some videography, doing some production-based things. So talk to us a little bit about your first project.
Yeah, so like my first project with my company.
Yeah.
So I worked with a company called Arizona Trauma Institute, a nonprofit. So I've worked with a couple nonprofits.
Oh, cool.
I've worked with them and then Literacy Phoenix as well. Doing their kind of content creation as well.
Okay.
But with the first company, Arizona Trauma Institute, I worked with like a big video project where we had 20 pages of scripts that we're videoing, and then we're interviewing kids and asking them these questions about emotions. And it was the project was more like a dare. Like, you remember Dare back in the day about drugs?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's kind of to put more light in that area of like, hey, emotions are everything, and when we let our emotions get the best of us, a lot of people go to vices or different kind of vices, and this is where a lot of addictions come from. This is where they all kind of start, kind of thing, is right then and there.
Yeah.
And so they were just trying to preach that to kids, like, hey, when you feel a certain emotion, like, how do you feel about it? Do you ever stop, think to yourself, how's my body feel right now? Like, is my heart going crazy? Is it not? Are you sweating? Is it not? Are you shaking? Is it not? Are you not? Like, there's a lot of things that, when you're in the heat of your emotions, you don't think about. Right?
Yeah.
The mindfulness
Agreed.
of it. And so that was the very first project that I worked on. It was a dual camera, so we had 2 cameras. We had a single mic, so we had one of the cameras mic'd up, and then I had a background mic on myself. And so any background I can mix the mics better, or mix the audio better that way.
Yeah.
Just makes it sound like a more complete audio, I guess.
And this is your equipment.
So this project it was some of my equipment.
Okay.
It was some of my,
like a blend.
Yeah, it was some of my boss's equipment, and so my boss, her brother took over the whole project. I'm gonna call him my project manager. He had the cameras that we were working with, and so I brought my cameras just in case and everything like that, and then for backups if we needed it. And then we had to get lighting. We rented out some lighting at a local Tempe business, and we needed like a backstand kind of stuff. It's little production kind of stuff, tripods and little things like that.
Gotcha. So I'm curious about a lot of things here, but one, I think it's a great time, the episode, to tell people what your official title is of what you do.
So I call myself a media production specialist.
Media production specialist.
Yes.
Okay.
So
with your own company.
Yeah, with my own company. Just because I've done a lot of videography and editing and effects that way.
Okay.
And then I've also done a lot of photography effects that way. And then also graphic design. So
a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of medias, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so that's kind of like the best way I like to kind of say what I do, what I am.
No, I like it. You literally are almost the jack of all trades there.
A little bit.
You know what I mean?
I know how technology works, and I think that was a big thing too. Is who I am is I understand a lot about tech and everything. So when my family has a problem with tech, guess who they come to?
They go to you.
Always.
Which I believe. It can be daunting. I mean,
sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I thought it was a big learning curve doing all this stuff, syncing everything together, doing the editing, doing clips, even having this playing in the back. There was a lot for me to learn that I can imagine for someone who just got into it. It can seem daunting. So I think for you to have a career in that's really great, especially since there are plenty of people out there who have a vision, but they don't know exactly how to put it on paper or on a piece of media,
exactly.
Which you come in, which I love.
Yes.
When it comes to, because you have your own company, you actually have some of your equipment, when you take on certain projects or jobs, do you find yourself solely, right there, the example you gave me, you had to rent out some additional equipment. Typically though, on a project, do you find yourself collaborating or renting out different pieces of equipment that you need, or do you usually have it all covered with the stuff that you currently have?
It all depends on how complex you get. If you're trying to do a news anchor, if you're trying to put a news anchor kind of we're sitting at a desk, ESPN kind of stuff, it's a totally different setup than, giving a kid a mic and videotaping them with a camera or a phone.
Okay.
I gave, for just fun stuff, I gave one of my kids a GoPro, put it on their chest while they ran the bases for baseball.
Oh, very cool.
So it just gives a different perspective on what they want. And what I hear from my kids all the time is they ask me all the time, they want me to videotape them so much so they could just watch themselves so they could do.
Oh, cool. Okay,
so they could just do better with that
for skills.
Yeah, so they like that's all they want. They just want to watch themselves.
Got you.
See what they did good, see what they did bad, and I'm like, I totally understand that too.
Yeah, well, 1,000%. I think they can be useful in what you're doing with coaching.
Exactly.
So let's give an example to the folks. Okay, so if I were to tell you, hey Kyle, I'm gonna need to use your company for a day or two. I need to go up to Flagstaff, and I'm gonna be doing a podcast episode at a local business up there to kind of like show their own business around and whatnot. Okay. So knowing that, seeing some of my podcasts, and like mine doesn't really take too extravagant, right, to put on. But like if you knowing how I do my thing, what would you need, or like right away would you think, okay, this is what I need to bring to Flagstaff, or this is the additional stuff I need to rent out? Like, is it covered by all your equipment? Like, walk me through, as soon as you took my contract for a day or two up there shooting, what are you going to take up there and what do you need?
So depending on what gear you would have, so I would take some of this gear. So like these mics, if they work great and they are like you have a computer that already works with it, take all that equipment with you, kind of stuff. It's more so for very big, like these light fixtures, for instance. Like if you needed, depending on the room, say if you needed a different background, like a green screen background, I could rent something out like that. Or
Got you.
It's actually very simple stuff when you think about it. It's just like a tripod that goes up with a bar that goes on top that you could throw a blanket over. It's like very minimal kind of stuff, but it makes production like look better from one point of view, right? And so depending on what you would want for that, and that'd be the key thing, is like the background is like the key, right? That's what people are going to be like enjoying, right?
Right.
So you're going to do a CGI one, or you're going to do like a natural one where we're sitting at a fire or doing something like that,
Gotcha.
There's, like, what is it? In photography, there's, what's it called? Where lines take you to where you're looking at, right?
Okay.
There's a phrase for it.
You could literally tell me anything about that, and I would believe you because I wouldn't know.
I know. Well, like
no, but I love that you're trying to actually bring it up.
But like the best photographers,
yeah,
they use lines that are very natural in our life to bring things more direct and easier to look at. So like when you're looking at like landscapes, or like when you look at like pictures on the road, or people in a tunnel or something like that. It's like called like tunneling or something like that.
Okay. So ultimately it sounds like it'd be pretty simple, but the expertise you bring compared to, let's say if I was trying to do it myself, is I'm very minimal. In fact, the camera that's recording our episode is my wife's, because she's a photographer.
Yeah.
So she knows how to do all that. So I don't even know how to do that. If it were up to me, I'd put the camera on top and be like, it looks like it's recording, let's go. Because I don't know about lighting, I don't know about any of that. So the difference between you and I, if I brought you along, is the fact that, great example, let's say we did one over the fire, or like a little fire pit outside. It would probably take a lot more to make sure you capture the right lighting, especially if the sun's going down, compared to just throwing on the camera and turn on record.
Exactly. And directional light and everything like that, right? So lighting, value of light is very important with recording and everything. Another thing that I've learned in my time of productions is not necessarily the back part of the base of the camera is important. It's the lens that's everything. That can be everything. So you could go get a 10-year-old camera that can shoot 4K, and as long as you get a new lens for it, it'll look pristine and brand new. Without
necessarily having to upgrade the whole thing.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay.
So I feel like that's what kind of camera, like when people want a camera, they want to go get the new thing, right? Because they don't know enough about cameras and what they are. And so your wife's camera is a DSLR, so it works both photography and videography, which a lot of cameras do nowadays.
I wouldn't even know that. So thank you for pointing that out, because I see Canon. That's all I know. But, well, I think that's a great, I appreciate you explaining all that to them to kind of understand more in depth of what you do and what kind of expertise you bring. Let's take a little side break into you doing coaching right now.
All right.
You know, you mentioned a little bit about you taking videos for the kids and stuff to like to watch themselves to improve their form or their ability or where they're lacking. So is that more of the whole giving back thing you're talking about in this point in your life, what you're doing coaching, or is that just pure passion for what you love doing?
Yeah, so there's a passion to it, and there's also like a give back. If I could make a living doing it, I would do it in a heartbeat.
You would say, hey, I think I'm cool with not doing production media stuff.
I would go coach baseball.
Okay.
For the rest of my life if I could.
Awesome. Okay.
And make money and do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
What do you think it takes to get to that level? Do you think you're doing those steps right now in high school?
Yeah, for sure. So I want to work with not just like any. So I have some friends that are into club ball, and I could go get a position with them if I wanted to and try to get into there. But I don't know if I want to do that necessarily. I want to do the high school route for a bit and understand it a little bit more, and then go, like, keep going and getting better with my expertise with coaching. Like, this is my second coaching staff, so my first so I've only 2 years of coaching. First year was a totally different coaching staff from my second year.
Yeah.
My first, and that to me is very important to learn. Like, learn the different coaching aspects of different people, what works, what doesn't. What I've learned with the kids is like I'm very, I guess you call me the close coach, where the kids are very open to me. They talk about their lives a little bit more.
Okay.
My job is kind of like translate that to the coaches and other coaches that don't get told that stuff, so they understand how the kid's feeling now. That's some of the things that I like. I love that relationship that I grow with the kids. And then other than that, I think just the overall growth of what coaching is. Like, you get to do something outside every single day. I tell my friend Dylan, he told me, he's like, oh, like, we're doing like a throwing kicking thing for fantasy football, like position. So like whoever gets the furthest gets to choose their first pick, kind of like draft order. So I guess he like threw a football the other day. He's like, oh, my arm is killing me. I'm so old. I'm like, it's kind of why I like coaching. It keeps me kind of young.
Interesting.
Like, it keeps you active when you actually really think about it. So
yeah, no, I would agree with that. I mean, the fact that you're working out with a bunch of these high school kids, right? Like, you're running with them a bit, you're throwing the ball. Like, you're right, to an extent, definitely does keep you in shape. And when I say extent, is because obviously you're not going always full speed with them. You have the opportunity if you want to, doing sprints and whatnot. But it also, I think, triggers this other piece of you where if you want to go work out and stuff, you have the ability still to do so without, you're right, some of us, we're not out there all the time with running around and whatnot. So if I go do leg day right now in this time of age, I'm hurting for like 3 days.
Or at least or a week or something like
that.
Right?
Yeah. So I think that's great. And so it sounds like to me, buddy, that, obviously you're good at what you do with the media stuff. We've talked about this before. In fact, guys, if you didn't know, Kyle was a big step for me in starting this podcast. I got a lot of insight from him, and I really appreciate you taking a lot of my calls, man. I remember there's times in the evening where I'm just like, hey, this is what I was thinking about doing this, and you had told me what I needed, what was realistic, and that helped me out a lot. And so it's interesting to hear this a bit more about the baseball coaching aspect of it, because obviously you have two things you're good at. Mm-hmm. You're good at coaching and you're good at doing your stuff with your own company. But I guess it surprises me a little bit to see how much you really love baseball. I know you loved it, but the fact that you're like, hey, wait, like, if I had the opportunity, if the opportunity came for me to go full time with coaching, like, everything has to be in a coaching and I have to leave my business I created, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And that would fulfill you on all levels.
Totally.
Wow. How do you feel, just to kind of play with the financial game, how do you feel coaching in baseball compares to having your own company? Because you dictate how much your quality of work is compared to a team or high school, if you're staying in that realm, gives you salary wise or for the season.
Yeah, so when I think of like coaching career, you can't make a living off of high school coaching.
Okay. So you have to do something on the side.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be a teacher. You have to do something else on the side.
Okay.
You don't get paid enough to do it like full time. So when I tell like my buddies that are doing like club ball and stuff, or that though you get paid decently enough where you can make a living doing that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because that's where the real money's at. And to be totally honest, like there's this huge thing with high school sports now, right?
Okay.
It's changed since NIL did their whole transfer portals and everything.
With college.
Yes.
You're saying that's starting to trickle down to.
Yes.
How so?
So, for example, this last week I was just at a kind of like a tournament, but a showcase for like some of Arizona's top basketball talent, high school basketball talent, where a bunch of coaches were there from colleges and like up in the stands and everything, and you could and people videotaping, and I was just videotaping, but overall, like the guy that hired me with the job, we were talking about just college or high school sports and why it's so changed. It's because colleges don't want that freshman anymore. Yeah, there's like okay, let's take the NBA. Let's take the basketball for instance, right? Like yes, there's every year you have your one and dones, but isn't that trickling down little like less and less and less? And then when you're really thinking about it, are those one and dones really making it to the NBA and being successful in the NBA? And so when you think about like when the grand scheme of things, what colleges are doing instead of going to grab high school kids, right? They just go grab somebody else who's transferring in the transfer portal, has more experience, is better, is coached better, because and then what's happening to high school now is like it's all trickling down to like the different kinds of colleges. So like D2s and preparatory, or like different kinds of like preparatory colleges or Catholic colleges, or JCs, like junior colleges.
Well, I was going to ask you about JUCO. So are you telling me that colleges, when you're seeing the baseball realm right now, are, when it comes to the incoming kids and on scholarships, it's more so transfer portal kids or kids from JUCO?
Yes. And then like you have you have your select few, like that 10.
Right. From like high school.
That could go pro. And they try to go pro.
Interesting. Because I always thought.
But that's not always the best thing either, because people get lost in like the G League and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
Because you're in this kind of same talent pool, right?
Right. Well, I think high school baseball, and I don't know much about baseball, so I go to you for this, right? Or I delegate this to you, but I thought with high school baseball, it was like one of the last sports still left. Maybe hockey does too. I don't know. That the professional league, right, the MLB, can still draft kids from high school directly, right?
Correct, yeah.
Is that still happening quite a bit, or is that okay? So then if college,
well, it's happening less.
It's happening less. Okay, so where are these drafts coming from? More now from colleges?
Yes. Like this year's, I want to say like this year's MLB draft was like 70-80% college kids, between 20, and it's usually like 40% high school kids.
Right.
Or it was when we were in high school.
Oh, okay. So it dropped like 20%.
Yeah.
Well, even then, because I knew a couple kids from my hometown that, whether they were in my high school or not, just within the Valley, that went and got drafted, right? Like I remember one kid got drafted the Reds, but like a lot of those kids end up getting stuck in like right after, is it rookie ball? There's remind me the class: single A, double A, triple A, then the show, right?
Yeah, and then you have like classes of rookie ball. So like you have like,
but rookie ball's at the very bottom, right? And then it's single A, or is it the same?
So you have like there's more leagues than even that. Like there's like summer leagues. There's AZ League.
Okay.
So like how we have all the sports complex, MLB sports complexes out here. They have their own league out here, and same with the Florida league.
Oh, okay.
So they like it trickles down all the way to there. Usually when you get drafted, you're going to probably single A, double A. Maybe, it's probably single A or rookie ball.
Okay, and where they usually get stuck those around that area.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the kids that I've seen, unfortunately, they can get stuck between single, double. Maybe they get lucky to triple, but that jump to the show is so crazy, is what I've been told.
Yeah. So like my brother, he worked for the Giants, San Francisco Giants organization for a little bit.
Yeah, that was a cool part of that was a cool chapter of his life. Exactly. I remember that, yeah.
And I remember, like, I talked to him all the time. I was, like, one of the only guys that was, calling him every other day, seeing what he was doing, asking him how he's doing, because he was on the other side of the,
Yeah, he's in the Bay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the Bay or all the way over in Augusta, Georgia. So
that's right. Or down in Mexico, I forgot about the Naranjos.
Yeah, exactly. So he was around, and so... great to learn like what the MLB is and everything. And I think one thing that really stood out to me that he always said was when you get your shot to go to the MLB, like you only get that one shot. Like and there's only like what is it? Like this, I don't like. He doesn't even know like what in ML or for the sorry. Let me
you're good.
Pause.
Yeah.
So like for the MLB, like to make it, there's so many people in AAA that are that good, right? They're like all the same. They're all like that good that could make it to the league.
Yeah.
And so there's so many guys that get stuck there. So like when I'm thinking about it, like they make it all the way up, but they can't make that. Oh, I'm an MLB guy.
Yeah.
And so that I would say it's a weird little thing that I don't even know how they consider who properly should be in the MLB or who shouldn't.
Yeah, I almost think it's kind of the ultimate tease sometimes. Some guys, like there's some, I won't name names here, but there are a couple people that I've followed on social media, whether that's I got to know them personally or like they're a sibling of a friend, so I met them briefly and they're in that, right now in the farm system. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you about one right now that's been stuck, I feel, in AAA, which is awesome. They're at least in AAA, as far as I've known, that they haven't really gone down or anything, but they've been at AAA now for years. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how the money goes AAA. I don't know any of that stuff. So it's like, if it's doing good, great. I think he's maybe got called up to the show a handful of times. But that's the other weird thing is like, it's almost the ultimate tease because you get called up and it's like you have to deliver. And even if you do deliver, it's still more so temporary for a guy who's rehabbing, right?
It could be.
And then you're sent back down regardless.
Yeah. So like think about like all the people that came up behind Derek Jeter. You think they're going to get the starting position over Derek Jeter?
That sucks, yeah.
So like think about it, baseball that way. Like there's so many people that are in the same positions that never make it because the person in front of them has that status.
And they're going to be there for a while.
Exactly.
And horrible luck would be you, Joe Schmo, is 25 years old and you're a crazy killing prospect, but the people in front of you in your position are of a similar age and they plan to be in the league for a long time if they stay consistent. So you're just continuing to wait.
Yeah. Or something like this happens, like where you're in an organization that hasn't done so well, right? And so you're making your path through the minors and stuff. But you also like after 2 or 3 years, now you have kids younger than you trying to make it too, right? Mm. And those kids are sometimes better than you and sometimes have a name, right? Like the Holidays, for instance.
I was just about to ask about that. I don't even know about baseball much, but I know Holiday. He's on not the Ravens, sorry, the Orioles.
Yes.
Right? Just like his dad was.
Yeah, and his brother just got drafted too.
To the Orioles?
No.
Oh, okay.
To the Rockies.
Is it Jackson Holiday?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Is that the dad or the son?
No, Matt Holliday is the dad.
Matt Holliday is the dad. Jackson Holiday is the son. And I remember there was some controversy with him when he got called up because he was kind of all over the place at first, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And just like with the Diamondbacks, our big guy was like Andrew Jones. Like his dad was a, Hall of Famer. And
so name and notoriety still are big things
Huge,
in any
huge.
aspect of life, but still huge in this sport.
In any sport.
Yeah,
so
right.
like going back to this last couple, like the basketball tournament, when Nico Manning.
I know the last name Manning, but is that separate or
no separate? Yeah,
separate? Okay.
His dad was in the NBA, but he was like a big prospect. He went to a high school just north of me, and he was a like 5-star recruit. He went to U of A, was a one and done guy, and then went to the NBA. And he never. I don't know if he like panned out to be what he could have been. Right?
Sure, but because of his name, kind of like got put through. Yeah, pushed through and everything. Okay, gotcha. Well, love the sports segment stuff because I could talk about that for hours on that.
Same.
And I think it's good for these guys, for everyone out there who's listening to this episode, to hear a little bit more about that. It's a whole other aspect of life that you guys maybe don't dive too deep into in professional sports. So I appreciate that. So we covered the coaching aspect of it. We covered that if the possibility came for you to go full time with that, right, you would do in a heartbeat, which I love for you. So let me ask you this question then, bud. Well, always on this show, we talk about the 10-year vision, right? And I think you probably knew that was coming. Where does Kyle Lewis see himself in 10 years?
I want to work on my family, too. And
okay,
so,
nice. Personal in there too, personal goal.
Yeah, so for me, I would just love to work with more companies and keep my LLC going, and then hopefully get another like part-time job or something that could pay some bills in the meantime, and then still do coaching. First year I ever did coaching, I did it as a volunteer. So never got a stipend until last year because the coach was like understood how much I devoted my time to the team. And
okay.
So he's like, you deserve it. Like, so don't tell yourself like you don't.
Nice.
And so that was like one of the first things I was like that was a good moment of my coaching life. But going back, sorry.
No, you're good.
What was
No, you're good, man. I do this to myself all the time.
I do it all the time.
Don't even worry about it,
so
bro.
bad.
So we talked about where you see yourself in 10 years.
10 years.
And it sounds like pretty much what you're doing now with just some more stability or consistency with it, where it's like you have enough work for your own company, maybe have another side job in case you need to, because I get it. And with your own company, with anyone out there who's got their own company in this type of world, it's all about what projects you pick up, what contracts.
Yep. There's always ups and flows. So
yeah, absolutely.
There's better, like I've had weeks where I'm like, 40 hours, 50 hours a week. And then I have weeks where it's like 8 hours. Like I'm not doing much.
Right. So having the side hustles is nice to have some sort of consistent flow.
Exactly.
Which if you get a routine of things is not bad at all.
Yeah.
You understand it, which I think is great.
And if I did something like that, I can manage my LLC a little bit better where if you wanted to reach out and use my services, that'd be like easier for me to schedule in and everything like that too.
Gotcha. And then obviously never forgetting the coaching aspect. You still have time to do that. Which
try to.
Right. But I mean, ideally, that's what you're gonna try to straight for.
Yeah.
Strive for.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm barely talking to myself right now too.
Well, this will be my third year of coaching, and I've only grown every year. I've gotten more responsibility. So, this last summer I worked a workout program for the kids, and I learned a lot from what my brother and Jesse is his athletic trainer that was with the Giants as well.
Yeah.
To do with them, a lot of bands and just arm care.
Oh, that's cool.
Like healthy stuff, right?
Yeah. So you got a good connection with your brother too that stayed with you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And making sure that they're doing healthy things. The kids that are not doing like long toss that are just, out for all summer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I look at them when they came back this fall, I was just like, okay, I know who you are as a person. All right.
Yeah.
I can't push you.
Yeah.
Which that's a thing nowadays too, which I didn't get into coaching, but kids are so different compared to like when we were in high school.
Oh, I bet.
Like we could push ourselves. Like we were pushed and like to do a lot.
And we did it.
And we did it.
Yeah. In today's world, it's almost like you're doing a negotiation every time you're asking a kid to do something, which bugs the living shit out of me.
It takes patience, man.
And that, what a great way to say that. Thank you. That's better than me saying, what I said. But yeah, you're right. It's a good, opportunity to build patience.
Yeah.
You know, and figure a way to do it with today's kids. And I won't even go more into that because we'll probably take another couple hours talking about that. That's a good one to top, a good topic. But well, buddy, you know, I wanted to ask you before I forgot their 10-year plan. To be honest, I would have worn that instead of this if we didn't have college football coming up, but I had to represent the house, you know.
The only reason I wore this because I know you're an LA guy, so like.
Yeah, I figured you did that to poke a little bit. Yeah, I get it.
This is who I am.
Well, I was going to ask you in your 10-year plan, I would have worn and said today's podcast we didn't have college football coming up. Our bowling jerseys because we're in a bowling league.
I thought about that too.
Yeah. I was going to text you and I was like, okay, whatever. We'll do it another time. But do you hope to see yourself still bowling in 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, beautiful. Yeah. I don't want to quit that either. I love bowling.
Yeah. Bowling is, it's just a good time with everybody.
It is.
Like, it's maybe it's the league or just maybe
it is friends. A good league.
But I think when it comes to getting older and being social, I think that's a great way to stay close with your friends.
1,000%. For you guys out there, just to let you know, Kyle and I, not only are we just very close friends, and you know, I love his family a ton, man. Like they really are family to me. We do things in our lives that for sure have us set to always stay in touch, which is fantasy football.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. We got our 10-year anniversary trip coming up next week. So when this episode gets released, when this episode gets released, we'll be together up in Colorado and Durango. So we have that, and we have our bowling league, which has been a lot of fun. You know, so to what Kyle's talking about, guys, it is so important, I feel, in this life, and as you do, that to have something that keeps you social with others, that there's no way you can avoid not talking to someone, like staying in touch. You know what I mean?
Something that pushes you to get out too.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you have an event to go to rather than, you know, just going out to the bar like every
100%
on every blue moon.
Yeah.
When you have something scheduled, it makes it a little bit. It makes it where when you miss it, it makes it where it's like, dang, I missed it. Like
100%, dude.
Like. I know we took the summer off, and I know like when we get back into it, the first week,
excited.
We're all gonna say, "Oh man, we missed this."
I'm so excited, especially with bowling, man. Bowling nights. He's right. Tuesday nights, I get so excited, and it's like Chad and I talked about this. But shout out to you, Chad. Thank you for letting me take your place in the interim, because it's so much fun, man, with your dad and you know with Dylan, a couple of the other guys, but. For me, you know, Chad told me, and it made so much sense now that I was going into the season. Tuesday was like this perfect day. Like I know Wednesday's kind of the hump day, right, of the week, but Tuesday nights it's just perfect because Sunday you get into work Monday and you're like, everyone has a Monday. It's like, oh fuck, it's the start of the week. But then Tuesday comes and you're like, oh, we got bowling tonight. Here we go. Let's bring out the pitchers of beer. It gets a little competitive, you know, and I think we're still chasing our first championship as a team, right? Or did you guys get it won before I joined?
I don't know if we've ever won it. I know we've been like second.
We've been close.
Third a couple times.
There was a season I was with you guys that we got second.
I want to say there was one. I don't know if that was. There was 1 year I did it before, like with just Dylan and like Hit and Ryan and who else was it? Like Vance. A couple other guys. This is where it all started, honestly.
Yeah.
And two of the guys got kicked out of the league because they wouldn't pay like league dues or something like that. So,
pay your league fees. It's not that much.
It's not that hard. Like let's just do it. But like if you're trying to have fun, just do that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and then they got me. I was like a sub at the time, and then I eventually got on the team, and then it became just Dylan and I, and then we made our own team.
Yeah, I loved it. And go ahead and let the folks know our team name.
So we're called Bolaney, but it's like a pun, or is it a pun? Because
it's a play on words, I guess. Yeah, with like baloney and lanes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of baloney, it's
Bolaney. Yeah, it's awesome. Our jerseys, I wish I would have brought it out, so my apologies, folks, but it's pretty cool. It's literally like a Bologna pack. Exactly. It's like as a ball going and hitting the pins. It's awesome. So Bolaney. We play Tuesday nights. You know, we'll keep you updated throughout the season if we once we get our first championship. We'll be here for that. I've been bowling, guys. I've been getting better.
Dude, there's always one team that's like shouldn't be in like. So this is just like you're not supposed to be a good bowler. Like this ain't for pros. Like
no.
Everyone has an average probably like of like 160 probably. That's like average.
I'm gonna show us 160. I'm trying.
I know you probably were, but you'll get there. Hey, you've had your good.
I've had some good games. I've had some really good games. Some
and
crazy games.
As long as you're doing that, showing that you could do it every time.
Yeah, and ultimately it's a lot of fun, guys. But as we're wrapping it up, dude, I would love actually two pieces of advice from you, two sets of advice, only because I think it's huge for you with coaching and you being an entrepreneur of yourself and having your own production company. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about, for anyone out there who's looking at Kyle and is saying, I love what I'm hearing about you being your own like media production specialist, your own company. What kind of advice would you give them who's willing to start their own company? And obviously starting a company in general can be tough. It can be daunting. What are some wise words of advice you give them?
When it comes to like, don't stop. Don't give up on it. If you make that decision, don't give up on it. Just like you made the choice. So, hold yourself to a higher standard kind of thing.
I love that.
When you make your choices, if you're going to make that choice, that's a big thing, I think. Cause if you can't see yourself like doing it, then you're probably not going to do it. Just naturally. But you have to, There'll be times in your life where like you feel like, wow, like you're sitting on the couch too much and you're like, wow, I need to get up more, or I need to do something that you missed, or something that go back to doing something you missed or something like that. Go work out, or people are gym crazies like that. So,
yeah, right. So just don't stop, hold yourself accountable, do it.
And then the second thing, so there's two things I'll say two more if I can.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Two is learn how to use AI as a tool.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Anything you do, you should be using AI in today's world.
Yeah, so when you think about AI, probably in 30 years or so, it's going to be a lot more relevant in our daily lives, like when you really think about it. So
it's already relevant.
It already is relevant.
Yeah, very relevant.
But now is the time to like get a jump start on it. And so when I think of like anything, how to learn, even in our like school system and everything, I think they're doing it all wrong. I think they need to go more digital.
Utilize AI, okay?
Utilize apps, utilize things that are tools, right? So anything that's built on our phone is a tool.
Yeah.
And figure out how to build a tool.
Okay.
Something that will be like something that people need, right?
Yeah.
And that will be the way to always have something to sell.
Yeah, okay.
So
I love it, man.
Yeah, AI. So that's the second one, and then the last one is when it comes materially, be more with your like emotions and be more in tune to your daily life. Rather than what you want to become.
Interesting. I don't think I've heard that one. So being more in tune with what's going on in the presence of that day compared to what you said?
Like what your end goal is.
Gotcha, because it's like little bits and pieces.
Exactly.
Better than like stressing yourself on like the bigger thing. Exactly. I like that, man. What about with coaching? Now, if someone said, Kyle, I want to start coaching too. What's some piece of advice for them getting into that realm?
It depends on what kind of coaching you want to be. If you want to be a head coach, first thing I would say is being ready and having a plan before every practice. Having like, all right, we're going to do this on this times is very useful. Organized, being like, yes, organized. And the second thing is, like that's, and go back to is patience. Like there's coaches that have come out that they come out and they bring like their, what happened in the day to them, to the field. Yeah. And it shows. And I hate that. Right?
Yeah, I do too. You can't have that.
Where that anger or something comes off. And so kids feed off of us. And so.
Oh, 100%.
So when you are coaching, they're looking to us adults for a leader, right? And so just try to be the best leader as you can. Try to be, you know all your good things and bad things you've done in your life and your choices that you've made. So, teach them what the good ones are.
That's great, brother. I appreciate that. And, it's funny, we were talking earlier on the show, like how some of these mics can be very sensitive. Mm-hmm. So that's why I put the dogs in the bedroom. And remember, what's one thing I said? I said, if the stomach's empty or like my stomach makes a sound, if that picked up on my stomach sound, sorry, y'all. But that just happened. I was like, oh, here we go. Anyways, no, thank you, man. And then for anyone who wants to reach out to you, is there an Instagram or anything that I can share on the show?
So if they want to reach out to me,
or email or whatever you're comfortable.
So I'll give you my business card. And okay. You could put it on like the
100%.
comments and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like do a certain thing.
Oh, you just put in like the episode details. I can do that for you.
You can do something like that for me. And
okay.
That will give me all my details and information for it as well. So
perfect, guys. So I'll be sure to put those details after the episode. You guys know where to find it. It's usually going to be in the comments and the description. If I can make it into the end past the band's information, I'll do that too. But you'll find it either way. Kyle, before you leave here in the show, any last minute things you want to say? Anything? Any shout outs? Anything?
Go Devils.
All right. Well. Go Blue, baby. All righty. Guys, thank you guys so much for another beautiful week here. It's always been great to have some good friends of mine, especially someone that I consider family. So thank you, Kyle. And for everyone else out there, don't forget plenty of other great episodes to take a look at. And always a big shout out to that band, Hannah, and all those great guys out there in Simi Valley doing their thing. I'm telling you, I'm going to have them on the podcast one day. I might have to bring Kyle without me to go do a travel podcast episode. That'd be dope.
I'll happy to help you.
All right, Hannah, get ready for it, guys. All right, guys, have a wonderful week, and that's about it. All right, catch you guys later.